Well, howdy folks, it's Richard the Fishing Machine here. You know, we all face tough fishing conditions from time to time, but fish has still got to eat. And sometimes the answer to catching loads of fish is easier than you think. You know, after a cold front, fishing becomes very, very hard. And the reason why is for two reasons. The first reason, they feed very heavily before the front. The second is a high barometric pressure swells their air bladder slightly, which keeps them kind of sluggish. But one of the things I've learned over the years is vibration is much better than flash when it comes to using a throw and wind type bait. Vibration and with the combination of a smaller offering oftentimes is the answer. In my opinion, the reason why vibration is so important after cold fronts or tough conditions is simply because it's a reflexive type action strike. Vibrating lures, in my opinion, causes a reflexive action type strike. Whether a fish is hungry or not, it don't make any difference. The reason why it's the same thing, and I've mentioned this before, if I throw a ball to you real quick, if you're in front of me, you're going to reach instinctively and grab that ball without thinking. Well, it's the same thing by using these little vibrating lures. It's the same difference, folks. The fish is already fed. They're not wanting to eat. They're not hungry. But downsizing your baits to a small offering like this is the answer oftentimes. Whether it's a type of bait that you throw and reel back to you, like a little bitty spinner bait, or a little tiny chatterbait, like in this case, or a little bitty plastic worm. Downsizing baits will get you more strikes, no doubt, after a cold front, or when you're fishing tough conditions. This is a 1/16 of an ounce chatterbait. I forget. It's just the smallest chatterbait that Z-Man makes. And I got a baby baller Z, which is a bait made by Z-Man, on the back of it. Now this bait right here will catch them when fish. These fish ain't active because we had a front come through yesterday and the barometric pressure is very high. But this bait right here has a great action. If y'all can see that right there. Maybe you can in this water's not real clear. This is vibration. This is just like any other chatterbait except for it's a lot smaller. I just got another bump right there. So they're reacting to this. I know I've caught some big crappie in the past with this bait. And like I said, everything that swims, white bass, channel catfish, anything that swims, hit this bait right here. When it's tough, it's a go-to bait, I guarantee you. There he is. Golly, what do we got right here? This ain't no crappie. Or a bluegill. This must be a bass. Golly, he nailed that bait. And that bait is gone. Largemouth, not a bad one. They're all good when you're out here in the middle of nowhere. I want y'all to look how far I'm out right here. Let's turn around here. Out in the middle of nowhere. But, come in here, boy. That's not a bad fish right there at all. All species will hit this bait right here. Let's let him go right here. Look at there. Nice fish. That was a lot of fun. I thought he was bigger than that. I knew it was probably a channel catfish or a bass one. Okay. But this bait right here, like I've mentioned, if you're fishing for crappie, or any fish, but especially crappie, and it's a fantastic crappie catching machine now. Just reel it back slow. Right here, I'm in about waist deep water. I just got a bump right there. Probably a bluegill. They can't stand it. When it comes by, they have to at least hit at it. If they see right there, that's just small bluegill that can't quite get that bait in their mouth. But just a slow, steady wind. And you can keep this bait right here in about any depth you want to. Now what I'm doing is going about middle ways of the water column right here. I mean, it's shallow anyway. It's real shallow. But I'm just holding my rod up, bringing it back slow. That vibration is enough for the strike. You don't have to do anything extra. I just got bit there. A lot of small bluegill out here. That's what's going on right here. They're probably a lot, half as big as my hand. But we're going to run it across something that's going to be bigger than that. There's one, folks. Golly. I got one, a good one right here, folks. Oh, my. Golly. Man, oh man, oh man. This is a big bass right here, folks. That's what that little chatterbait will do for you. Right there. Let's just hope he stays buttoned up. I've got a light action rod right here. Light line. So we're going to have to definitely wear this fish out. This is a good one. Now, I lost one a while ago, about 5 pounds. This fish is bigger than 5 pounds. Here he comes. Oh, my. My. Now, that's what I'm talking about right here. He's almost made me go 360 degrees. Big as he is, he'll probably make me go 360 more on it. But these little chatterbaits, you know, hey, I've caught everything on them. Every doggone thing. And if you want to catch some big white crappie, if they exist, great little bait for that. Or bass. Look here. Golly. This fish right here is about 7 pounds. 6 or 7 pounds. My. Hey, whoa. I'm talking about, hey man, whoa. Okay. Let's take a look at that fish. Golly. I want y'all to look what a fish. Now, there's no way. I don't know. Let's go over here to this stump. I want y'all to look what a fish. That is a big bass. And there's the proof. Right there. Okay, let's get him revived right here and we'll let him go. And no, I'm not sponsored by Z-Man. I've been using Z-Man baits for years. And I even like their hoodies. I mean, everything that Z-Man makes, I like. And I know, you know, I get a lot of stuff. Nobody sponsors Richard Gene the Fishing Machine, folks. Nobody does. I mean, I get offers, but I'm not going to do that. There's no reason for it. I can buy my own stuff. Z-Man makes a heck of a bait. There's so much vibration, and I'll explain something to you. There's so much vibration into this little bait that it's just like a piece of candy to them. It's just like if me or you wanted to, after we eat a big meal there at the counter, they'll have them little mints. We're full. But we'll grab a hold of one of them little mints to go ahead and top our dinner off. That's why they got them right there. I mean, and that's just like a bass, I do. It's a tasty little treat, and they'll eat it. So let's let him go. I hope I explained that right, but I've had that happen a many of a time. My goodness, that was a lot of fun on that light tackle like that. Let's let him go. Watch him right here. Water's real hot. He'll decide to boogie. When you fight them down with light line like that, they're tired when they're tired. Let's see if we can catch another. Something wrong with me. It's getting worse as I get older. Woolly booger, 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 woolly booger. You know, folks, I've been studying this while I've been fishing. You know, vibration oftentimes will outdo flash as far as getting strikes, getting reactions. And this is one of those days. One day after a cold front, or after a front, vibration is showing to be a lot better than flash as far as getting the bites. There he is. Another good fish, folks. I can't believe this. There we go. Good bass. Good bass. Look at him wallering out there. Boy, I'm in him now. He's not as big as that last one I caught, but he's a darn good fish. Look here. Oh, this is a... No, he's... No wonder he fought funny. I have never caught one this bad. Bless his heart. I've never caught one like that. That's this bad. His back is broken. I was wondering why he was fighting the way he was. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. I've caught some like it, but not one this bad. Look at that. And he's a nice fish, but he can't fight right because his back is broke a little bit. See that curvature in his back? He's a survivor. Bless his heart. Let's let him go. But you can see that. I want y'all to see that. I mean, and he's 2.5 pounds or better. I was wondering why he was fighting that way. It was really odd to me. Bless his heart. God, these fish are survivors, are they not? I ain't never felt so sorry for a fish. Let him go right here. Let's watch him. He just can't even swim right. Ain't that something? Something else. I made a cast right there. And come back about middle of the water column, about 1.5 feet deep. And he hit it and felt like any other fish. He hit that bait and held it. There he is, folks. Big fish. Got another big one right here. My. Whew. You're talking about burning some drag now. These fish are strong. Strong fish in here. Golly. My goodness, the power of vibration. It's a good bass right there. Little baits catches big fish. I've done it many times in tournaments. Downsizing a lot of times is an answer. Alright. There you are. Golly. Did y'all get that? Let me wipe this off so we can look at this fish. This is going to be, excuse me folks. That's a strong fish. Strong fish. Look at that, what a bass. Golly. Ooh, healthy fish. Bleached out account of the watercolor. Look at there, what a fish. Golly. But that's one good thing to do. Especially on pressure waters. That's a good deal to do right here. After a cold front, at least a couple days after a cold front, downsize your baits. Downsize. And make multiple casts. Now I'm making multiple casts these at targets like these stumps over and over again until I anger a fish into biting. I don't need to leave that out because that's what I'm doing. See, I just got bit there. That was a bluegill. But I have enjoyed today. What a blessing. You know, folks, the mini flashback chatterbait is a very effective bait for a lot of different species. Let me show you how I rig the bait. All fishermen tweak artificials a little bit. I am a sticker on it. It's not that I try to find something wrong, because there's nothing wrong with the bait, but I like to improve the toughness of a bait, or fishability of a bait, and this is how I do it. Okay folks, this is how they come out of the pack, just like that. Just like that right there. And I'm going to tell you, I like that. The reason is, this is what I do to all of my jigs to keep plastics on the shank of my hook, to keep jigs from slipping, or baits, whatever you want to call them, from slipping off the shank of the hook. I do this anyway, so I'm glad that they've designed this bait the way they did. Not only is this a very effective bait, it's a very effective bait a couple days after a cold front, or a front. And it's amazing how much vibration oftentimes, in my opinion, will outdo flash as far as getting reflexive action type bites. And by downsizing, this is not just for panfish. This is for, as y'all seen, big bass. Long as you repetitively cast into an area where you feel like there's a fish, one cast after the next, finally you can get that reflexive action type strike. But anyway, this is dental floss. This is non-waxed dental floss. And what I'll do is just take it, just like I do on the jig, and just wrap it down the shank once to about the bend, and then back again. Just like that. All the way back up to the top of the lead, or bottom of the lead. Now I'll put 2 granny knots in here, or overhand knots, whatever you want to call them. One, then the second one. It's hard to keep all this in frame. Like that, right there. Okay. Just like that. And then we're going to cut that off as close as we possibly can. Just like that. Okay. And then normally I'll get a cigarette lighter, folks, and singe that, but I've cut it so close there's no need to. Now what I do is take the dental floss and push it up real tight. Tight as it'll go that way. Okay. Now, the 2 baits that works, or seems to work, the best is a Baby Baller Z on the back of these baits. Okay. Or a micro worm Z. Worms. You know, there's a little bit of controversy on how you say that. A lot of people will put the Z on there. Micro worm Z. Some will say micro worms. Either way you want to do it, it's fine by me. I don't care. But these baits are very durable. Once you do this, let's take a white one right here, or baby baller Z and a pearl. Then we'll rig it up on this bait. But these Z-Man baits are so tough. You can catch fish after fish after fish after fish. You can fish with them just about all day. And they won't slip like this. That's why I love to just go ahead. And it don't take but a minute to do this. Now, if you notice, you have the way this baby baller Z is. You have a slit in the top. Okay, it's not much of one. And then you have the ribs on the bottom that goes all the way. This is the way I fish them. I keep the flat part up just like that. Here is the slit right here in the bait, you can see. And the ribs is on the underside, and I'm calling that underside the belly. So the bait actually goes through the water that way, the way that I rig them. Okay. I'm calling that the belly because it's down farther. So what I do is rig the bait, and I use that little line that they have, or little slit, little indentation for the center line. And I'll just go ahead and rig it right down the center. Get it as straight as you possibly can. Push it on there, work it up there. Alright folks, I got it rigged up pretty doggone straight right there. Now what I'm going to do is slip this back just like that. And this is my favorite glue right here. This is Loctite super glue. This glue right here will not cause any chemical reaction with Z-Man products or Nico products, or that type of plastic. Let me put it that way. After you get it rigged straight, slip it back, and it don't take much glue. Not much glue at all. Now, this is not near as much effort as a lot of people would think it would be. This is very, very important, because all you have to do now is fish. If a bluegill or whatever grabs the tail of this bait right here, he's not going to pull it down, okay? He's not going to pull it down, and you can catch fish after fish after fish after fish like this. After this dries, all you have to do is worry about fishing, not readjusting and tweaking this bait. And being that it's a Laztec, it's incredibly tough. But one of the things that does happen with baby baller Z's is that bluegill will hit this little ball right here. These baits right here have an incredible action. They have a real tight wiggle. I count that ball on the end when you retrieve it. Now, with a chatterbait, it'll go back and forth and wiggle, which is why that's just a great little trailer for this bait. But bluegill will grab a hold of it. You'll feel the strike, you'll jerk, and after a few times, it takes several times, you'll end up not having that little ball. But that don't matter. You can still keep fishing this bait, because the chatterbait will still make this tail go back and forth, back and forth. Y'all see what I mean? It suits the size of the bait. These two baits do. The micro worm Z and the baby baller Z suits. But let me tell you something. This is a very effective way to catch all sizes of fish. As y'all can see, this is a situation where big baits for big bass does not apply. After cold fronts, I would recommend to downsize, or if you're fishing really pressured waters, downsize and you'll keep catching fish. That's the two situations where these baits right here really come into play. Well, folks, that was a lot of fun, but I will admit that was a little bit eerie being that far from the bank out in the middle of a lake, a small lake like that. I was way out in yonder, so I didn't have any choice but to figure out how to catch those fish. I enjoyed it. I want to thank y'all very much for all the great comments, everything y'all do for this channel. It's been, like I said, an honor and a privilege to entertain y'all when it comes to the sport of fishing. So God bless each and every one of y'all. Hey, whoa, doggone it, I'm talking about whoa, whoa, whoa. And remember, go fishing when you can, because it's good fun.